Well, despite those warm temperatures in this week's forecast, winter is fast approaching. That change of seasons highlights the state's need for warming shelters for our state's unhoused population. Well, now many of those shelters are actually scrambling after the organization that supports them announced they were closing. Your reporter in Jefferson County, Andrew Hobner, is live in Arvada tonight. And Andrew, are these shelters able to adjust for this winter?
Kelly, the Severe Weather Shelter Network was an organization that corralled churches and nonprofits all over Jefferson County and beyond to provide overnight shelters when the weather got really bad for those living on the street. Its announced closure over the summer has sent organizations in Jeffco scrambling, which is why here in Arvada, Mission Arvada and the Rising Church are trying to fill in the gaps as best they can. So this winter, nobody on the street is unsafe. Mission Arvada's director, Karen Cowling, received some unwelcome news earlier this summer. The Severe Weather Shelter Network, which worked with churches in Jefferson County, announced they would no longer be working in the area.
It was a deep breath because that was really the only sheltering. It's actually the only sheltering we have in all of Jefferson County, and it was only for overnight.
So Mission Arvada stepped in, knowing the seriousness of what's to come in the winter.
We actually had an individual that passed away right across the street from our church, sitting up at the library. And that was about 5 years ago. And we told ourselves that we will never allow that to happen in our midst if we can possibly help it.
While Jeffco is working to organize their own efforts and other nonprofits like Recovery Works are doing the same in different parts of Jeffco, Mission Arvada is trying to provide overnight shelter space for all during severe weather events.
Gotten quite a bit of funding towards, the operational costs of, we've decided we will open our building. And
so far, a handful of community partners and churches have helped to step in, a mission that Karen hopes will be successful this year to keep everyone safe.
Our mission is to help the poor, the homeless, the marginalized, and the forgotten with the love of Jesus Christ. And so that's what we're doing.
Through the generosity of several beneficiaries, as well as the amount of churches in the area that have pledged to help through volunteers and other means, the shelter is getting its way up to fire code and should be open coming this winter to make sure that nobody on the street in Arvada, as Karen mentioned, is left unsafe when the weather gets too bad. Here in Arvada, I'm Andrew Hobner, covering Colorado First.
Andrew, thank you. And Andrew is your reporter there in Jefferson County. He's committed to covering stories that matter to you and your family. If you have a news tip or story idea for Andrew, reach out to him through our website or by calling 303-863-TIPS.